A financial decision. Before you take a financial decision, you need to sit down with a financial advisor. We don't know nothing about cars. We know most about money. So we will simply talk money, not engine, not petrol, not fixtures, nothing, but money. Are we cool on that one? So when it comes to car buying, these are the strategies I will suggest you use. Obviously, to pay off your car quickly, you can do extra payments. When you pay extra, it lower your next installment. So on your statement, the amounts you've paid additionally will appear as an advance amount. Are we cool on that part? Number two, if you think the loan is charging you too much interest, anything above 14% is ridiculous. Others are being charged like 20% interest on car finance. That is ridiculous. It means you didn't negotiate. You need to negotiate. Sometimes before you go to dealership, go straight to your bank. Alternatively, you can request an offer to purchase, then go to your bank. Some features can make your car expensive. I will show you some numbers shortly. I'm speaking as a financial advisor here. So, number three, round up your payments. If like your car installment is 5.370, make it 5.5 or 5.4. That round up will actually take you somewhere, because it means you are paying extra and above. Even if you afford to pay half on the 15, another half come the end of the month, that half on the 15, remember there's a capital, there's interest when you're paying off a car. So it minimizes a little on the interest side as well. So for people who are self-employed, where they are the ones who are paying, that can simply work very much better for you. I want us to look at these numbers. You can see this is a Kia Rio. Let's look here. This client, original amount finance, you can see 320, eh? And there's a residual value of more than 100,000 on this car. A balloon that you will need to pay come the end of the term. 100,000 is too much. Okay? A balloon may simply means, if you get a balloon, first of all, they must explain what is a balloon. Because I have clients who discover on their 30th year that there's actually a balloon. As much as they receive statements, but sometimes if there's no one who actually guides them to understand the meaning, they are lost. So this is a balloon of more like 100,000 and above. Look at the interest rate, 19%. This is ridiculous. You need to negotiate a very, very better interest rate. Alternatively, you can refinance for a better interest rate. It can work for you. Sometimes it cannot. But those are things you need to consider, especially women. You are actually engulfed by emotion of driving a new car, the new smell, and all those sort of things. You are forgetting the numbers. Numbers are very important. So look here, when you are paying your 7,000 installment, 4,000 is interest, only 2,000 going towards what? Capital. Double amount is going to interest every month. So you need to make proper considerations. That is why when you request an OTP, then we sit down to make a good counsel before you make a decision. Okay? So 19% interest, it means you didn't bother to negotiate. This is another one. At least here, residual is like 60,000. Look, the client has paid. It's got like 45 months left. It's paid for some time. But the initial amount was 270. But amount owing is still how much? After paying for so many months. Of which is not bad. But let's look at this one. You know these cars. This is a Kia Picanto, ne? This one will be paying for how many months? No, not 60. Now banks can give you 92 months. Yes, just imagine paying for a car, Kia Picanto, for 92 months. It means you've paid for how many cars? Two. And, and all those are the things you will still need to consider every time. 17% interest is too much. It means you didn't bother to negotiate. Are we together on that part? Look at them. This is the Hyundai i20. Price above 300,000, but it balance after paying for a year or so is still above 600. Like that's include interest. 600. And you have how many months to pay? 72 months. It means we are corner raise more than 600,000 in 72 months. But I now know 60,000. Now we are corner we raise for a bank. Why you and I have a million corner so? Why you not finish 5 years with motor yako if you are corner we say visa, say right with a good service plan, extend your warranty. After that, drive that car and invest that 7,000 as if you are still paying for another 5 years. You will have more than 500,000. When you broke ngobuthanda. Because some numbers are uzange wa consider accordingly. Okay? Let's continue. But what I like with this one is 15%, at least. Even though I'm saying 14% is reasonable. 12 years, you correct. Have you ever checked how much interest rate are you paying on your car? Have you ever bothered to check? So, I'm getting check as well. Remember, you can still go back and renegotiate. We understand? You can still go back and renegotiate interest rate. They can lower your interest rate if you do what? Negotiate. Even here, 16% is still big. Like, look, 2.9 is going towards capital interest is still very big when you check this one. All right? So, let's look here. Let's look on this one. All right? So, this is a podium. Ne? It's more like a quotation. Here, I want to identify extras that can kill you. Because when they say, do you want a sunroof? You just say, yes. Oh, sunroof, yeah. So that when I take a selfie, ama-selfie sunroof, ama-selfie ubuso ukuthi afane sunroof. Sunroof is good, but sunroof is no good if you don't afford it. You understand what I mean? Yeah. You will take a couple of pictures, you're good with it, but come here, number 3, number 4, we will start to see that, you know what? I've paid more than 100,000 for a sunroof. All I needed is to move from point A to point B. Like in a quantum. So let's look here. Here, window tinting, 3,000. You can do that thing at a later stage. 1,000 rand. Don't put it as a car finance because it means you will pay for 2,950 and interest for 72 months because it is financed. You understand that one? If it's included under finance, it means we'll be paying interest on it for 72 months. You understand? Yeah. Look here. Metallic paint. Another 2,000, 1,000, almost 2,000 for metallic paint. Because you also pay for that paint. Yes. Another one, if they add another 2.8 for lug nuts. You can buy lug nuts at a later stage. Or immediately at a very reasonable price. Because here, as they appear on the podium, it means they are financed. And you will pay interest on those ones. So please do check on those things. When you look at this car, how much is it? 300,000. But if ever the cost of agreement and everything, the interest is above 250,000. So, good people, make sure when you buy a car, you don't buy a car that you qualify for. Buy a car that you afford. Look at your affordability. Don't not be motivated by car salespeople. I know they will come for me. They always does. But they do not understand the National Credit Act. Because what they are doing, I'm more special against our sisters, is not ethical. Because they give you everything when you are just agreeing, not knowing that those specs here, it's more than 30,000 extras that are more like financed, that will be paid with interest for the next 72 months. Those are the few things you need to consider. And then lastly, considerations and solutions you need to do. You can refinance for a better deal, meaning for a better interest rate. That's number one. Number two, maybe you need to downgrade to a cheaper motor vehicle. Downgrading is not bad. When you see that this Rupa is not serving me well, financially speaking, I would rather downgrade to a simple standard car. Obviously, when you downgrade, there might be a shortfall. But when you trade in a car and there's excess or a shortfall, you cover, you are sorted, then you continue. Then you will be fine with a lower installment. Number three, negotiate interest rate. Indicate that I'm no longer affording in this rate. Can I negotiate for a better interest rate? Anything like above 15% for me is too high. Even 15% is high. You are on 19%, they are killing you. Really killing you. Okay? And then maybe buying a second car with a good service history can also be a good idea. You understand? A well-serviced second-hand car can take you another good time. Okay? So, because sometimes low mileage, obviously. Sometimes people will say, yo, I want just a new car smell. You know that smell. No, you can buy a second-hand car and buy a smell. You understand? So if it is going to suffocate your pocket, choose no metallic, just normal paint. Okay? You don't need a sparkling, shining paint if it's eating on your pockets. You know, someone, yabona wena usafuna nokuliftana. Askile. You understand? I-2023 model yakho ihlezi hamba ikhanya ilambu la petrol ikhanya wena uhlezi uhamba emoto ekhanyayo. What does that mean? You don't afford it. Awufuni nokulifta abantu from enkonzweni ngoba nje uyabona ukuthi bazoloku bengihleba bethi ilambu lami liyakhanya. Ngiyabashiya. Bashiya ngisho emvuleni ngiyabashiya. Bazosinda imoto yami ime ngingakafika ekhaya iphela ipetrol ngiyabashiya. But nani people, you know what? Angini niyabona ukuthi athina ama installment abantu. Ngalengibela imoto yomuntu mahala. Yes. Oh, she drink anyana. Yabona ukuthi expensive kanjani indaba yemoto, because we are talking about the cost of owning a car. Lento yakho yokuthi nje uthatha amajita azule nithi niyobona abantwana. Ushiya abantwana endlini uthi uyobona abantwana namajita. Hlala phansi bekikhiye ungalokho wenze njani uwaste imali. So lastly, obviously you can pay extra as you afford. If you pay extra, in difficult times it can assist you because it means you are advanced with some months. Even if you have like income shortfall this month, you won't be in arrears because you are already ahead. That's what I've always been teaching people even before COVID. Came COVID, some face some shortage of income, And then they were able to survive because they were in advance in terms of their repayments. So guys, the car is the second biggest purchase. That is why sometimes we are touching on it. Not because we are attacking anyone, but we are just educating each other. Remember, financially, some of the things we learn from our mistakes. But more especially young people. You know, when your parents told you that, no, wait a little, have a bigger deposit, pay the deposit and do all those sort of things. And when you are paying the deposit, if you are getting a deal with a no deposit, take that deal. But after 2 months or 3, then apply for capital reduction and then put that deposit. Then it will surely minimize what? Your installment, capital, and interest. Then you benefit even more than paying a deposit ahead if you paid after. Are we together on that part? So those are the things we need to do. Coming back to the issue of people who realize at a later stage that there is actually a balloon. That is why you must sit down with someone who can be honest and explain. Because some people, they actually consider a balloon for you so that you afford a certain car you emotionally attached to. Then they say, okay, a balloon is 67,000. That will be a required installment come the end of your payments. So it means you must pay them in terms of a lump sum. But if you trade in your car, if you are trading it in, you can actually offset that balloon. Let's say you are trading in a car and then you have an excess of 60,000. It means you can pay off 60,000, then you will have a shortfall of 7,000 that can come from your pocket. You understand? So please, if you afford to pay deposit and you can afford a car without a balloon, don't consider a balloon. If you've considered a balloon, prepare for it. You can take a balloon, more especially if you are intending in terms of buying another car maybe in the next 3 years, where you can use this one as a trade-in. Then the trade-in value can cover the balloon. You understand the process? So in that way, it can assist you a little. But most of people are suffering through the balloon. And someone was asking me from Cape Town, when we were in Cape Town 2 weeks ago, and saying, then what can I do? I realized recently that I have a balloon. I have no lump sum to pay. You can refinance the balloon, meaning that you are now having a new loan that you will still need to pay with interest. That can be what? A solution. Are we together on that part? So that is the second biggest purchase. That is what? A car. So now we are going to the first biggest package, that is property. All right. Thanks, Mangaliso.